J-Dog of Hollywood Undead joins me, Ned, on the Underground. J-Dog, thanks for taking time out, man. How are you?
Good, dude. I'm just out here in America, freezing my ass off.
Yeah, freezing. Well, you're not going to have to worry about that when you get here, man, because it's been borderline heat wave the whole time.
Well, what part of Australia are you in?
Melbourne, closest to Melbourne, and it's been very hot.
Looked it up, like Fahrenheit. You guys are like 90 or something like that. You guys are way up there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you're gonna have a little bit of a culture shock. But first up, I have to ask you, man, have you been to any operas lately?
No, never been to
Last
one since that last Sydney one.
Last time I spoke to you, you went to the Sydney one and you got kicked out for, I think you had to take a bathroom break or something, right?
I drank like 2 bottles of wine before because we were hanging out in the trees like outside. I was like, man, this is beautiful. I'm on a hill. There's like flying foxes everywhere, like hanging out in trees. I was like, this is living. And one of the dudes in my band, Funny Man's like, let's go see an opera. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, let's go. And we just walked in, and like an hour in, I was like, dude, I'm about to piss in my pants, and they were like hissing at me. Like, and, I didn't go back to my seat. I just left. I was too embarrassed.
Oh, it was so funny because you educated me on that too. Because apparently it's looked down upon doing that, right?
Have you? I guess so. I mean, if you go to an opera, don't go to the bathroom. Like they thought I was having a heart attack. They were like, "Do you need us to call an ambulance?" I was like, "Why?" They're like, "Nope." I was like, "Oh shit."
Oh, too funny, man. Well, do you have any stories like that to top that since we last spoke?
Not in Australia. No. I mean, I don't know how much I told you, but I took an Ambien one before that trip, and I pissed in the galley. They almost arrested me. They pretty much arrested me, and I had to talk my way out of it for like 30 minutes. And never took Ambien since then. And one of the dudes in my band, we got in a fist fight in the Sydney airport. We like it was a mess.
Oh, geez, yeah, you didn't tell me that much last time. All good now, I'm assuming.
And then I think the Sydney Opera trip, when we were flying home, I sat next to Steel Panther, and like some of their crew guys were like drinking like bottles of vodka, and they got some Australian girl wasted. She like puked and passed out in the aisle, and like the flight attendants were pissed, and they thought I was in their group. They're like, "Are these your friends?" And I was so scared about my last like trip flying when I took the Ambien. I was like sucking my thumb, looking out the window, like I don't know these guys. Like I have no idea who they are. And I just saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in Canada, and one of the guys, Steel Panther crew guys, works for the Chili Peppers. He was like, "You sat next to me on the plane. You pretended you didn't know me." I was like, "You're gonna get me arrested." I was like, "Dude, I already got." I was like, "I didn't want to get arrested on a plane again."
Oh, that is too funny, man. Now, on a more serious note, J Dog, you live in Los Angeles, right?
I live in the Midwest now. I go back and forth. So I live in Los Angeles and Oklahoma.
Oh, there you go. I was going to ask, were you affected by the recent fires they had there?
I was there when they happened, when they started, and I was there through all of it. It's not as big as like they make it out to seem, but it's still pretty bad. Like I know people that lost their homes. Like, houses that my mom lived in were gone in Altadena.
Oh,
So
no good.
it's like they're pretty bad, but like the city as a whole, people were still going to work and all that stuff.
Yeah, so like the mood's sort of back to how it was, or
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's very like post-apocalyptic. The sky's orange, but like everybody was still going to work. You kind of have to. They didn't. It's like the fires were huge, but like I would say it was like 5% of LA, maybe less or something like that. So it
oh,
sucks. It's really bad, but I feel like because it's LA, it was kind of blown out of proportion. Like there was wildfires in Australia a few years ago that were way worse, and nobody talked about that.
yeah, exactly. Well, we actually had fires close to where I work recently, around about the same time as the LA ones, actually, and that like it made headlines here, but obviously not worldwide like the LA ones would have.
There's a lot of celebrities' houses burned down, and that sucks. But I don't care. I'm like Tom Hanks has 10 homes. What do I care if one of them burns down?
Oh, you're funny. Well, that's yeah. But my wife said the same thing. She goes, "Oh, they'll be able to get back on their feet, those guys." But man, last time I was talking, you were telling me all about your side business. Have you still got that going? The weed business?
Yeah, I just showed it to you on the camera. I think before you were recording. I should keep it a secret in Australia. Though. I don't want to go to jail out there.
Yeah, don't bring it over here. It's not legal here.
Not right. So I mean, I had some before when I was there. It wasn't good, but that was a long time ago. I'm sure people like growers have gotten a lot better out there.
Yeah. Well, man, like you are about to basically jump on the plane. What's the sort of how are you guys feeling at the moment? You hyped to get back out here?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what to expect, so I'm just going at it with no expectations. I have no idea if we're popular out there. I know a few people out there. The
You
girls
are.
at Garage Inc. on the Gold Coast, they're like, no, people like you guys out here. I'm like, okay, we'll see. We're doing a few headlining shows. Like I don't know if two people are gonna show up or 500. I have no idea. So I don't care if two people show up. I'm not gonna kick myself. We haven't been there in so long, and it's a struggle getting over there financially. So it's like we're kind of looking at it just like a fun trip.
Yeah, well, we're very much looking forward to it. I'm sure there'll be more than two people rock up. Big side shows happening in, I believe you've got, yeah, Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. So that'll be a bunch of fun for Aussie fans to check that out. Last time we were talking, J-Dog, you were talking about the music scene and you were just getting back onto the road. It was after the COVID pandemic and all that sort of thing. And you were saying how it's like there's a lot of competition out there for touring and things now. Has it changed much?
I think it cooled down a little bit. Like there was a moment where you couldn't even get a tour bus because everybody hit the road. Like you were paying top dollar for like the world's shittiest bus that was like no air conditioner, like
Yeah.
almost every day. But everybody was like outbidding tour buses just to get on tour, and like fans were excited to go to shows. So there was obviously a mad dash. I think it cooled down a little bit, but I feel like live music is like stronger now than it was right before COVID, which is great because like it's I don't know, it's fun obviously, but it's good for bands and people like me who make a living off of it. I feel like since COVID, like concerts are bigger than they were right before.
Yeah, well, this concert you're coming out on has just been red hot. Like it's like the hottest ticket in town. I've been told. So it's just going from strength to strength out here. So very much hyped to have you out here.
I'm excited for Australian fans to see Falling in Reverse. Their show is so cool, and
Yeah.
it's crazy, and I like watching it. So for fans who haven't seen Ronnie and Falling in Reverse in a long time, I'm literally excited for them to see his show more than my own because we're just good. It's like a bunch of idiots. Like he's got like some cool production and all that.
For sure, man. So who do you think's the most Australian out of the Hollywood Undead camp?
The biggest bogan, Mike.
You're the biggest bogan.
I was saying earlier, I'm gonna start Bogan Fest. I'm gonna start my own festival out there.
Bogan Fest. I love it. Okay, man. Well, I'll give you a quick Aussie challenge. Hopefully, you don't drop out too much here. I've got 3 Aussie terms of slang here for you. I want to see if you know what they mean. All right. So, first up, we have the dunny. Do you know what the dunny is?
The Dunny. No, oh man, I could. Let me say the Dunny. It sounds like an STD. Like you got the Dunny, mate.
I love the Aussie accent. No, it means the toilet. So, if you've got to go to the toilet, you go, I've got to go to the dunny. I've got to go to the toilet.
Change that to an STD. Like, oh, he got a case of the Dunnies, mate.
Yeah, you probably catch some sort of something off the dunny seat, I
Yeah.
guess. All right, man. So if I was to say that the Hollywood Undead show was a ripper, what would that mean?
Uh, a heckin' good time.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just ripper means fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, I figured that much. That was easy.
Yeah, 1 out of 2. And this is the third one here, J Dog. A budgie smuggler. Have you heard what a budgie smuggler is?
That could be so many things.
It's a, it's a,
All I know, I don't want to be one.
you want to be one, did you say?
No, I don't want to be one. That doesn't
No,
sound
you
good.
definitely don't want to be one because it is a men's Speedo thong, which is a funny term. Like you get a lot of
Yeah.
people in their late 50s, 60s wearing the budgie smugglers out here, and it's quite concerning to see.
Wonder why, like, you hit that age and you're like, I'm just gonna let it all out. Like, I hope
Yeah.
when I like, I just don't hit that late life crisis where I get like a Porsche and wear a budgie smuggler.
Fingers crossed. I'm the same, man. Oh, well, thank you very much. 1 out of 3 is not too bad at all, J Dog. Really appreciate it, man. So, before I let you go, what's the status on new Hollywood Undead music? Hollywood Forever was very cool. Are you guys working on a new album or what's the go?
We got a few songs going. It's so hard with albums these days. Like I always try to be honest, and I'm not gonna like bullshit and be like, oh, like everything's great. We're doing this and that. It's kind of like pointless to release albums because we'll release a full album. We'll spend like 6 months writing, recording, and then 30 days later, people are on the internet like, when's new music coming out?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, is your attention span that shot? Like, you don't realize there's probably 9 songs you didn't even listen to on the album. So it just makes more sense with the way how fast the internet moves is just literally do singles, put more money and power behind each song because it just gets more attention. It's like Hollywood Forever seems to be doing great, and we're just taking that approach now. It's like it's the hip hop approach. Like they've been doing that for years, just singles, and it's like a lot of bands, like older bands, like Godsmack, I believe, is one of them. Some of these older bands are like, we're not recording new music. Nobody wants to hear it, so you pour your heart and soul in a new album. People don't even care. It's like it kind of sucks, honestly, but. I think as a whole, people consume older music than new music. Like there's some statistic on it. It's like 70-30 or something where people just listen to old shit.
Yeah. But it's a weird one. Like, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, singles do seem to be the future. But, like, in, 10, 15 years from now, what are we going to be looking back at music from like 30 years ago? Like, it's, I don't know. I just hope people continue to make new music and albums. But
Yeah. It's kind of
it is
scary.
what,
Same thing with movies and whatnot. Like with AI, you really don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like music is gonna go so weird. Like AI is gonna be like damage
yeah.
it. That like authenticity is gonna come back again. Like authenticity kind of is back right now, but I feel it all goes in cycles. Rock music kind of died for a while, but it's coming back again like really hard right now, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, J-Dog, for taking time out. I really appreciate it. You guys literally about to hop on the plane, so it was super cool of you to take time out.
Yeah. I hope I
Yeah.
make it. I've had some bad experience on planes in Australia. Only there. I don't know why.
Oh, man, I'm sure you'll be fine. You can catch these guys, Hollywood Undead. We were talking about the side shows earlier at the Croxton Band Room in Melbourne on March 15, the 19th at Tivoli in Brisbane, and the 20th in Sydney at Liberty Hall, of course, playing with Black Veil Brides and Falling in Reverse as well. It's going to be big. A whole bunch of shows there. Grab your tickets, destroyallines.com. Hit this man up on his Instagram, jdog_HLM. J-Dog, very much appreciate you taking time out, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'll see you soon.